guys, welcome back to Counseling Minus the Bull with Candace. So today we're back. We're going to do another video. So today's video, we're going to jump right into it. It's going to be about conduct disorder. This is my disclaimer for today. My brain is fried. I took a test for my job. I said that, a test for my job, and my brain is still fried from earlier. Anyway, I'm so grateful for my handy dandy binder because all I have to do is read, guys. So let's jump right into it. So what we usually do, if you're new, welcome. We check in with our mood. So your check-in is basically, what is your mood for today? So my mood for today, I usually do it through dance moves. You can do it by emojis, just typing in how you feel. You can use lyrics, any creative, expressive art would be fine. However, just make sure it's positive and make sure it's appropriate. Guys, I do have to say this as well. So I actually got a comment, and in the comment, the person attached their number. Do not give me your personal information. I'm never going to use it. And then on top of that, I don't want anyone else to be able to have your personal information. Never put your name, full name, your number, address, anything. It's not needed here, guys. Remember, we're on a journey of love, growth, and healing. It was a nice gesture. He was just trying to extend his helping hand. However, let's stay confidential, like I said, and let's be respectful of the contact and what we're putting out there. So yes, guys, let's jump right into it. So conduct disorder. I actually have a lovely experience with this. Conduct disorder, so it's an overriding feature. Hold on, I want to look up, not, okay. So conduct disorder is an overriding feature of this disorder. Is a persistent pattern of behavior in which the rights of others and age-appropriate social norms are violated. Conduct disorder is not in the result of a single cause. It focuses on characteristics, events, and experiences that increase the risk of conduct disorder. It's actually the most prevalent and serious disruptive behavior disorder seen in mental health centers. Conduct disorder in children and adolescents are age-appropriate actions and attitudes that violate family expectations or rules and the personal or property rights of others. They tend to display severe, aggressive, antisocial acts involving the infliction of pain on others or interfering with the rights of others through physical and verbal aggression, stealing, or committing acts of vandalism. The essential feature of conduct disorder, CD, are antisocial behaviors that are linked to a repetitive and persistent pattern of behavior which violates the rights of others and involves the violation of major age-appropriate societal norms or rules. That was a lot of words. I'm sorry, guys. That was 2 paragraphs, but that was just too much. Oh, I didn't do my dance, right? So my check-in. So my dance is going to be something that I seen, of course. What do I always watch? TikTok, right? Instagram Reels. So it basically goes stop, drop, and roll. So go ahead and put your moods below, guys. Make sure it's appropriate and make sure it's positive. Okay, anyway, so let's go back. So the criteria. So we're saying for childhood onset is prior to age 10, where they exhibit more severe, aggressive, and antisocial behaviors. And then for adolescents, the onset, so when does it begin usually, or when does it notice, is after the age of 10. And then they usually have a better prognosis compared to the children. That's very interesting. So it's often called, that's a big word. It's also comorbid with ADHD and ODD. Break it down. So it's also associated with ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and then ODD, oppositional defiant disorder. We have a video about both of those. Check that out. So children with conduct disorder often exhibit academic difficulties, poor interpersonal relations, deficiencies and distortions on social skills and interacting, So it says most research pattern of behavior is cohesion. Cohesion refers to defining behavior that is rewarded by another person. So it can be the parent. Aggressive children are inadvertently rewarded for their aggressive interactions, and their escalation of cohesive behaviors as part of the discipline practices that sustain aggressive behavior. So basically, what it's saying is maybe a child is acting out for attention, which is going to be like my example I'm going to use. So maybe the child is acting out for attention, and this bad behavior gets them that attention. So it's like a reinforcing thing. If I do this, I'm going to get the attention. It may not be the best attention, but I'm getting some attention, right? So the parents end up enabling this behavior because that child wants that attention, right? And then that's how they get it. So it goes to like some parent family characteristics. We're not going to do all of that. We're at 6 minutes. So treatment. So it says that a therapist or a counselor, mental health professional, plays an active role in therapy. It combines several different procedures, including modeling and practicing. So the therapist or the counselor or the adult mentor can practice these behaviors, can model these behaviors that they want the child to exhibit. Role playing and reinforcement, and malpunishment. Treatment utilizes structured tasks involving games, academic activities, and stories. CBT, our favorite over here, cognitive behavior therapy, significantly decreases aggressive and antisocial behavior at home, at school, and in the community, and have suppressed the impact of other treatments. Exactly. This is why we use it for everything. But it's effective for a lot, right? And then the control outcome studies indicate that cognitively based treatments lead to a therapeutic change. And that's what we're seeking. And we're not seeking a superficial one. We're not seeking something that's not going to last. We're seeking a change that's sustainable, realistic, not temporary, it's long term. And then it's teaching and rewarding the praise behavior we're looking for. So cognitive behavior solving skills training. So it's a broadcast of constructs that pertain to how the person perceives, codes, and experiences the world. Conduct disorder individuals show distortions and deficiencies in various cognitive processes. You can generate alternative solutions to interpersonal problems, identify the means to obtain particular ends or consequences of one's actions. And that's big as children, because children don't necessarily understand that their actions bring on consequences. So you really have to sit down and kind of explain to them that if you do this, this can happen. If you do this, we're going to do this. You really have to break it down and explain it so they can understand. You have to recognize their maturity, their developmental maturity as well. Just make sure that everything is realistic. So work on developing interpersonal cognitive problem solving skills. Engage the children in a step-by-step approach to solve interpersonal problems and behaviors that are selected, and then solutions to interpersonal situations are important. Going back to like the modeling and showing them the behaviors that you want to display. So it also talks about some parent management training. So some training for the parents, parenting skills, stuff like that, how to deal with the behaviors and aggression. So I'm not going to read all the bullet points for that. And then functional family therapy, so family counseling. It's based on a learning theory, and it focuses on specific stimuli and responses that can be used to produce change. Family requires that the family see the clinical problem from the relational functions it serves within the family. So within the family, it's always seen that it's not the individual, it's always the family in the focus. So it's always the whole family role in the focus, right? It's shown as effective and it produces consistent effectiveness. There's also a systemic treatment. Not going to that. Don't know nothing about that, and I can't speak on anything I don't know about. So anyway, so my example of conduct disorder. So like I said, I did my internship in the schools. It was in Gary, Indiana. This was particularly a middle school. I had been to elementary, middle, and high school. But this particular child, I believe he was, I want to say 12. I could be wrong. But anyway, he was in middle school, and he really kind of displayed conduct disorder, CD. Um, Social skills impaired. Like the way he would interact with his classmates and friends, like he would establish these friendships and then it would be done. Okay, because the way he interact, he would talk about his friends, he would hit them, just invade their personal space, and then he couldn't necessarily recognize that that was causing friction with these new relationships that he was developing. So it definitely had to be some social skills that needed to be learned, like respecting people's private space, not hitting them, not being aggressive towards them, not talking about them to keep the friendship, right? Not to say you have to cater to people, but you definitely don't want to offend anybody. And then what else? He actually had a younger sibling, a newborn, and basically he felt like his mother, um, he wanted that attention from his mother. And the interactions he described with his mother was his mother telling him to shut up, get out her room, things of that nature. And then since the baby being so young, he really didn't have that bond with the child. He was really feeling like the baby caused this, I guess, this interruption with the mother. Um, I'm just assuming that it was a previous connection there that he had with his mother, and then this new change. Of course, it requires adjustment, and it's just natural for siblings to go like through a jealousy type of thing until they learn to identify with their other sibling, right? So for him, and then also he would draw these characters. This is my favorite part. We use expressive art therapy, and me and my colleague, we actually kind of tag team him because I was the intern, but she was the actual licensed professional counselor. And she would tag teaming me like, hey, you have questions for him? Hey, what should I do? What do you think about this? So I really was like in tune and pulled in with this. Um, so yeah, he had these characters that he actually drew. And what we've come to find was the characters that he drew was actually, it revealed things about him. So it was a character that had like a dark side, and that was his dark side. It was a character that was loving, and that was his loving side. And then he had these stories. Now the part that concerned me was the stories that he created. So he would make these little books and he would draw and he would have the words under, and it's beautiful, right? But all of the stories was violent. um since I was not like the lead person, um I don't know specifics about like the home environment besides that the interaction with his mother was sometimes negative. So I don't know if there was any violence present in the home. But yeah, that's something that I did pick up on. It was violence and always the stories, and but resilience at the end of the stories. So, you know. But anyway, he was a very smart child. He had a big imagination. We had to kind of identify what was true and what was not true, what was imagination and what that he's really bringing. So with these characters, we had to identify that um, they had little aspects of him, but they were fictional, right? Um, yeah. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say here. Guys, that's my example. This is the definition. Um, there's some treatment in here. Feel free to put your moods below. I'll probably be back tomorrow. We're going to do probably psychothymic disorder tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. Put your requests below. Remember to be positive and remember to be appropriate. Do not put your contact information. Guys, I'm building this channel. I do not want to risk it. So please be respectful in the comments. Please, okay? Be mindful. I'll see you next time.